if he for sure they bring him through, like yeah, y'all might have snuck one in right there with them. For sure, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ain't nothing to it. You feeling all right though?
No.
Yeah. We 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 ain't talked about it. As per usual, we never actually talk about what we gonna say to each other. We only shot a couple texts like, "Boy, what just happened?" And even though today is Tuesday, I don't know what happened. I ain't even gonna lie to you, big dog.
Uh-uh. I wrote on my notes. I said I wrote down their names and then right beside it I put in big letters IDK.
That's all I got. Welcome to this episode of Beta Toe Boxing. I'm Foreman.
I'm twin.
And we're going to recap the weekend starting from Friday to Saturday. Friday, the top ranked card out in Canada with the main event of Billy and Selesky. And then obviously the Jake Paul card that happened on Saturday. That gets a little bit more in detail. And nah, my boy, I don't even know. I still don't know. Yikes. How you had a good weekend though?
Yeah, yeah. At the family reunion, kicking it.
Okay, family reunion. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. I think mine coming up in August, so that's gonna be interesting. August 30th, I gotta
What
see.
were you throwing back drinks last weekend?
I was not throwing back drinks. I think I had one cup of tequila and lemonade. And even then, that was Friday night. And then even then, actually, I can say that for sure. Friday night, I had that. And take that back. I took 2 birthday shots over the phone with 2 of my homegirls. It was her birthday, 37th birthday. I called them. We took birthday shots. And then I went to go work out still. I woke up Saturday morning, got 4 miles. Saturday, and then that afternoon, still went until when did my lift session. So as you see, my neck is getting there. Again, face is fine. It's starting. Whoa! Shout out to the cardio. Your boy been getting the miles in though. Boy's been getting miles in. So, yeah. Other than that, I did not throw drinks back. Didn't throw drinks back. Didn't eat no bad food. Nothing. I'm sticking to it. Sunday got miles in. I was gonna go to brunch, but I set my head down in the high. I ain't. Yeah, shaking back. Twin has challenged me, but also there's a new thing that I can't talk about yet. I probably can. He ain't gonna care, but I gotta wait for what Pay the Toll will be doing with a fighter in a sense. Because if you think I'm not gonna use Twin's brain, that's insane. Uh, like no way. Um, but anything else? I know you threw back a few.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I,
It
ex-
did.
I expect nothing less. I expect nothing less. You got a permanent DD driver right now too, so you definitely can do what you want.
This is true. This is true.
Hey, take full advantage. Take full advantage, dog. Because afterwards, you're screwed, buddy. You're the driver no matter what now. It doesn't even matter. It is what it is. Well, all right, with that being said, and Billy and Selesky called on Friday. Boy, they was in Montreal, Canada, packing boys up left and right throughout the whole card, dog. That might have been the easiest possible rewatch you might have ever had in your life. If you haven't seen what happened on ESPN and Top Rank on Friday, I'ma just try to put quick short clips in here. I'm gonna do it. I usually sometimes I do edit it, y'all know it just be a lie sometimes. It just is what it is. But I'm gonna put the clips of everybody just getting blasted because that's all they did was just get blasted. The whole fight card. Everybody was just getting put out. Specifically though, we did catch a gem in the middle of this though. Jhon Orobio. Hey man, that right there is what you call good hands.
Mm-hmm.
What could you tell from just that small of a performance?
Hey man, that boy was throwing with some pepper.
Yeah.
Even with the jab, like he was throwing the jab out there, but man, everything else he was throwing, it had some bad intentions on it. And then
Yeah.
and then once he stunned him, he didn't even rush. Like he didn't go over there and smother his punches and everything like that. Like he took his time and hey man, next thing you know, he hit him with a body shot that stunned him. Then
Hey folks. Hey folks, tonight is over. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go home. We're gonna get paid for a full 40-hour work week early. That's exactly what that man did. I mean, that's what everybody on the card did, but that's damn sure what he did for sure.
mm,
Um, I think I tweeted Evan Corn at that time, and all the guys. I was like, "Hey, bro, y'all need to bring him to America for a little bit." When you see things like that, usually in countries, Canada hasn't had a world champion since Lennox Lewis. That's super petty of me, and I don't care. I don't care. Even though Billy is Canadian, we've had obviously other Canadians. Archie Beterbiev left Russia to fight in Canada, fights out of Montreal and all of that. So I'm not discrediting any Canadian folks. I don't want y'all to think I'm doing that. I do know my boxing history. Um, However, that homegrown like that, hey man, that looks like something that could needs to be cultivated for sure. I think that's somebody they need to bring over here to sit back and get like 2 or 3 fights in America, simply because they can put him around better gauges of talent around to let him develop a little bit more from what because that looks very good.
and he has a fan friendly style. So
Mm.
if they get him in front of the right audience on the right undercard, he's gonna
Oh
pick up.
yeah. Oh, for sure. They do that on the right day, and brother, that man cooking, bro. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They can build them a star. You know,
Mm.
Top Ranking's done multiple shows. PBC as well when they had Adonis Stevenson. They put cars over there in Canada. You know, it's something to be had right there with him, though, for sure. It is absolutely something to be had with him. Um, Now the main event, boy, that went well. I didn't expect that. Maybe a knockout for sure because of Billy's style, Selesky's boxing, but I didn't expect it to go around one with a dirty uppercut like that.
Dirty.
Didn't
Oh man, it was dirty after the body shot. Another one again after the body shot. Clean up.
just just man. I mean, like on a night full of on a night full of go home earlys, that was probably the best way that you could end that night. In
Mm-hmm.
all honesty, I hated it had to been short. I'm pretty sure some of the fans were like, "Hey, yo," because we you had a long wait time simply because nobody expected the night to go like that. I don't even know nobody can expect a whole boxing card night to be like, yeah, everybody's going home early. You can't expect that. So, yeah, I didn't expect him to put out Selesky at one. I said Selesky was going to at least make it to four. Thought he was.
Thought wrong.
Well, for the journeyman Selesky after all the years, do you think that might just be the end of it for him?
With a first round KO, probably so.
Yeah, that's tough. That's
Yeah,
tough.
I mean, well, and Billy he did good by himself because you know what they planning on. They planning on Canelo winning, and then he getting in the ring with him. So we'll discuss that fight at another day because I got thoughts.
I got thoughts and prayers. Pray that don't happen. That's what I got. I tell you that right now. I got prayers that it don't happen. Shoot, I'd rather see Carlos Adonis versus Canelo than anything.
Oh no, I meant thoughts on Crawford and Canelo.
Oh, we're gonna save that. Save this for you. Obviously, we'll hold that for another day. We got plenty of time to even think about
Hmm.
it. So, yeah. Shoot, I'm pressing it. I'm trying to figure out is it gonna record or not. I'm trying to make sure we get an episode. Also, shout out Chico. This is what I got on today. Chico, you need to make more of these, brother. This is never underestimate the heart of a champion. You need to run these back. I keep telling you this. I don't know why you ain't listening to me. Run these shirts back. Um, Also, shout out, thanks for playing still. Shout out to the guys. A couple interviews with them coming up on the way. We'll figure that out. Uh, I'm trying to make Twin do. Y'all convinced me to make Twin do the interviews by himself. He don't need me. Um,
We're a tag team.
wow, it's crazy. All right, so Saturday, the Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez card. All right. So outside of Jake Paul and Cesar Julio Cesar Chavez, we knew what we were there for. The two main events that we were there for sure. Tevin Farmer versus Floyd Schofield Jr. and Zerlo Ramirez versus the KO Dr. Dorticos. Um, Tevin Farmer versus Floyd Schofield. You have the floor because I've got nothing, brother. I have nothing. I have nothing. I have nothing.
Bro. My man went out the first 40, man. God damn. I don't. So I wrote down on the paper. I don't know. 'Cause I don't know what happened, but so I went back and I rewatched because it was only 40 seconds. So I rewatched it. I rewatched it a few times, and the only thing I can get from it is it like the 20-second mark. You can hear Schofield dad yelling the jab, or something like it. It was something jab. And if you go back and look at it, Farmer throws his jab from the hip, which means it comes in low. Schofield was in a high guard, and he threw his jab from his face, basically. So his was over top. So whenever Farmer threw his jab, he came right over it and caught it. And
On,
that's when he caught him with the 1-2.
on the butt.
So I assume since Schofield is the taller fighter, they were looking to time his jab and come over top. And hell, that's what happened anyway. It don't matter if they was planning on it or not.
And that when things happen like that, there is no more game plan because it's like, oh, bet we're gonna everything that we thought, toss that shit. It don't even matter no more because he went down one, then he goes down two, and then at that point it's up. Like there is no more fight. There is you know, he got on the yeah, bro. Those and all credit to Schofield. A lot of us did not. I'm gonna say we didn't give him no chance. A lot of us just didn't think he was ready for that type of level of veteran. Let me say that. That's where my thought process was. Farmer had been on the bad end of some bad decisions the last three fights from Moritalia and the two with Williams Zepeda. You know, so that's where all of our thought processes came from. Everybody in the boxing world. I don't care who you are. Nobody thought I have seen no media personalities, anything, think that Schofield was going to win that fight in round one in under a minute. Nobody thought that. It was impossible to think that because we knew who Tevin Farmer was. Now, all credit to Floyd Schofield because those punches were significantly on both butts. When a good punch is a good punch, there's nothing to defend it. I don't care how good of conditioning you did as a fighter. If a punch lands on the button, and where in Farmer's case, it surprised him and he did not see it. There's nothing that much more you can do for that. There is no training for that at all. Um, that's just what it is. So, but kudos to Floyd Schofield for getting the win in the fight the way he did. That's one, and then also, um, defeating the words that he had to hear for the last months of not being able to fight. He did not dropping out of the Shakur fight and all the other things that prior to it. So he beat those demons in himself or those bad voices in his head. Not gonna say demons, bad voices in his head. So shout out to him for that. I think that's all I can say for that. We were all everybody was wrong, and there is nothing wrong with being wrong in boxing when things happen. It's the theater of the unexpected. How about, that's what boxing is. Because on any given night, the right man or the wrong man can do something miraculous, and that's it. Nothing else you can say about that. So, shout out to him getting that win. And before we actually end that round, Josh Edwards, the Houston heavyweight, started. Well, he didn't start the card, but he started the heartbeat of the night with a first round KO with a counter right that was just unbelievable. That had the man sleeping on the back of his ankle. My God,
Bro,
the Rocket let one out.
he almost knocked my man through the ropes.
Heck, there was a lot of man to knock through the rope too.
That boy, man.
My boy said, I'm going back to selling houses.
That fight didn't last that long, and he hit him with about 100 straights.
I mean, it was right there. You know what I'm saying? He knew it was coming. It was right there. It was coming. So that's it. First round. Was it second or was it first?
I think it was first.
I think it's first. I can't remember.
Yeah,
For
it was
some
first.
reason,
It
for
was
some reason, my brain not processing that right for some reason. But yeah, shout out to him for getting that win, another win on his journey through heavyweights. Uh, Josh is a fantastic talent. Seen him throughout Houston all year. Fantastic talent. I think he's one of those in those peculiar cases where I think he's like 228, something like that. I can't remember the way he came in for that fight, but I think he would be perfect. I think he would be the perfect guy for somebody for Oscar and them as the Bridgerweight division keeps developing. I think he would be perfect for that because he's a big kid, but not a super big kid. You know what I'm saying? His body looks good, and I don't think they should try to do anything extra outside of that besides keep him in condition. And because he still has his amateur style, use that, build up on that. He's with Ronnie Shields now, so build that and do some things upon that. That's what I'm looking for. It's great talent. I want to see more. Obviously, he can see heavyweight, so we can see more of him more often. I want to see it. That's it. So that's all I got.
I agree.
All right. So also on that, Golden Boy card, or I'm sorry, MVP/Golden Boy card. Here's something that is very, very, very important that people need to understand about boxing, and I'm so serious about this. Because I think unfortunately we live in this social media boxing age where people forget how boxing really does work. More importantly, why matchmaking in guiding a fighter's career is so important. Uh Renee Alvarado beat I forgot Morales' first name just now. My God. Did you write it on your notes? Doesn't matter. On that Jake Paul and Chavez card, Morales and Alvarado. This is why. This is matter of fact. This is another weekend where matchmaking, the fighter's ego, matchmaking ego got too big. We just saw uh Rodriguez and Galal Yaffe over there in England ran into a tough one, and again did not match up. Rene Alvarado is not your pushover journeyman. You fight, and if you win against Alvarado, you are certified as one of those ones. The man has 16 losses, and I guarantee you, if you watch more of those losses, and only been knocked out twice or stopped twice. Let me say that he's only been stopped twice. He's fought the likes of Lamont Roach, so he's not no pushover by any means. You have to make sure when you line your fighter up against a guy like Alvarado that fighter is ready to be on the championship level. That's just what it is. If that guy is not, it's not as simple as people think, oh, it's just another opponent. It's never that simple when you got guys who are 32 wins in and 16 losses, but only two by stoppage. Why is that? Let's figure that out. This is where the matchmaker's job has to watch the fights. The matchmakers watch more fights than we do because they're looking at it differently. They're looking at it the way that I tend to look at boxing a lot of time, like the style matchup, that punch output of that fighter. Okay, I see the mentality of this opponent. Alvarado went in that fight and beat Morales for all 10 of those rounds. I ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that fight. That's just what there was. Morales is a good fighter. He is a good fighter. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But that Saturday was not about skill. That Saturday was simply about the pressure, the output, and I'm good for doing this because this is literally my life, and I'm not looking at this to be glamorous. I'm looking at this to do it because I love it. And that right there is what Morales ran into and why he lost that fight. The matchmakers did not look at Alvarado the right way.
Nope. And just to set the stage, so Alvarado is 36, Morales 27. Then Morales was minus 2,000 on the odds.
Minus 2,000?
Yeah, he was a huge fake.
Oh, we could have hit a lick.
Yeah, a lot of people got upset.
Oh, I don't even gamble on boxing, but oh my God, if I would have known that.
Mm-hmm. So he was minus 2,000. Then I was looking at this website, and like 500 people voted. And want to guess the percentage of people that had Morales winning before the fight?
Oh, before the fight? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
98.
Yep, 98%.
This is when knowing boxing matters.
Mm-hmm.
This is when knowing boxing matters. Like I said, social media age where them boys are gonna look at a record and say, "Oh, he trash."
Hey man, it's a different, like, you got to know your class of journeyman, if you're gonna use that term. You got to know your class.
Yeah,
You
you
can label
do.
you can label one, if you want to split into two sides. One side is the ones that haven't fought in years, or have like a horrible record, that haven't really fought any world class talent, or old, like really old, don't belong in ring anymore. Like, that's one class. The other class is a class that show up to the fight and they like, you got me fucked up if you think you gonna come in here and beat me, youngster, and they got something to prove. That's what Alvarado is.
Like you matched up with Alvarado if they trying to make sure you like that, and you got to get past that test. You like you said, you got your different versions of journeyman for sure. I mean, that's just what they are. But you have to know journeyman as well as you know the champions to get to that point. For instance, oh man, this is gonna sound so crazy. For as lovable as he was, you had to know Ernie Shavers as a puncher because he put folks out. But Ernie Shavers still was a journeyman because he never was a champion. No matter how we want to look, or a forever contender or a journeyman, however you want to look at it, this may be seem disrespectful to people, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Ernie Shavers.
I get what you're saying.
It's that's just what it is. If you could not get past Ernie Shavers, you got punched out. Hey, bro, we know you're not like that. Cool. But if you beat Ernie Shavers, we know you was like that. Easy, right? That's just what we know.
Hmm.
So, super important. Like I said, know the journeyman just as well as you know the champions. When you see these upcoming fighters, all of a sudden they um 19, 20 fights in, and they're like, man, we thought he was gonna get a title shot next shot. Why is he fighting this guy who's got a record of 29-7? You might want to go look at those 7 losses, especially if ain't none of them by a KO. You might want to go take a wild look at that because
And
that will, and then go watch a few of them, and it really gonna tell you the story.
they gotta watch them, because then, depending on who they fought, you mess around and got cheated on the cards, and that's the reason why they lost. Because in this fight, some judge said it was 96-94. Who,
96.
who the hell?
You mean you gave that Birelli 3 rounds? Where you get them rounds from?
Hey man, I
Where
could
you
give
get four? Where you get 4 rounds from with that man, dog?
I could give him one if I want to try to give him one. I could give him round one if
Where you
that.
get the where you get them rounds from? Come on, hey, tell me something.
I don't know, cause
I want to see where you got that. Show me where you got that at.
cause in round two he lost the fight in round two. That's when he lost.
In round three, it was decided. He lost the fight in round two, and in round three, it was decided.
When
So
he de-
show me where you figured this out at.
when he decided he was gonna try to bang with Alvarado,
And that, oh, oh,
them
Lord,
them lefts to the body was cracking from jump.
whole man say his whole right side of his body was red that whole fight, rest of that fight. Hey, bro, that's again, your matchmaker gotta know, and your coaches, because you trying to set up. You trying to step back and set up a hunt. What are you doing? This man is here to fight, not dance. He ain't no setting up. You gotta at that point bite down, big dog. Bite down and go. That's all you got. So for every fighter, if y'all by happen to get a chance to watch this clip, hey, when you see that you have a journeyman in front of you, you go watch the film too. So you can watch it with your coaches, because as a fighter, you know. There's one thing that we all have as a fighter, you know when somebody is just not good, or hey, but that's a hard fight. You got to know that. You got to see it for yourself. You're gonna trust your coaches to come up with a game plan, but you need to watch this yourself. You need to envision this man in front of you every single time. So that way you know when you got a sparring partner, hey bro, you need to come a little bit harder at me. I need to get that. That's how you get the best out of your training before you get ready for a guy like that. And if you're not trying to do that, don't again. Hove did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. Go do the work for real. Don't just rely on your talent to win you a fight, because it's not gonna get it done. I did that. Don't do that. I had all the talent. Did not. I really tried to rely on it, and I didn't watch the fight. That's on me and nobody else, and ain't nobody else feel guilty about it. So, hey, here's some lessons here. So go figure that out down the line. Watch your own career. Yeah. Your team finna get you smashed home, boy. Shoot. But it don't have to happen that way. Anyways, moving on. Um Zerto versus Doricos. That was a good fight. That
Mm.
was a good cruiserweight fight for sure. There's no advance about it. Doricos is on the back half of his career since it's been years since he had a highlight KO when he knocked out Andrew Tabiti during that tournament that they had for the cruiserweights. Um, He's still a big puncher. You can see those punches that Doricos was landing on Zerto for sure. It still hurts Zerto. It wasn't ifs, ands, or buts about that. You also saw Zerto throwing lots of punches and combinations where they seem to not hurt Doricos back. Yes, Zerto won the fight, a competitive fight, but Zerto is obviously not the puncher or as big of a puncher as he keeps moving up from the middleweight to the now cruiserweight division. Um, what did you think about that fight and the performance of Zerto in getting that win?
It was a good fight. I think my favorite round was round four. They was round
Like,
four. They was doing some exchanging in round
yeah,
four,
for
going back
sure.
and forth. But yeah, I agree. I don't think he doesn't have the power that he had at the lower divisions, but I think he adapted well because he had to fight off the back and front foot at certain times. He showed versatility doing that. Um, then how you say my man name? Because it ain't gonna matter.
Doricos.
Yeah, Dirticos. And when he got the point
And they
to,
call me country. Oh, and they call me
he,
country.
we know where I'm from.
That's crazy.
But he got the point deduction for low blows, so
Yeah. It was on the hip. It
yeah,
wasn't like on it. It was on the hip.
it could
I
have
mean, it might have been a little visible.
The cards could have been a little closer if not for that. So, I
I'm
mean,
I'm all I'm all for a little hip punch. I don't care.
yeah, you punched me in the hip before.
And why you bringing up old stuff?
You did.
They know that. Keep going, brother.
But on the right side, then I understood what a hip punch can do in a boxing match.
A good hip punch to change the whole fight real quick. Good hip punch changed the whole fight. Nah, man. Good fight for sure. Back and forth. Scorecards could have been close. That point obviously doesn't help the case for North Coast at all. But still a good fight though. Very good fight. Now that fight is over and done, uh, give me Giant five. Give me Giant five. I ain't trying to hear it, brother. Hey, Zero, my man, first Mexican middleweight champion, all that other jazz and all that stuff like that. I hear you, my boy. Salute everything you were doing. Look here, chai tie, match tie, high tie, Giant five. That's all I got, my boy. Open tie and five. Do you hear me? Open tie and five. That's what I saw.
No,
Good gracious, because it's gonna get violent for that undisputed cruiserweight champ. It's gonna get extremely violent.
yeah,
Ja,
yeah,
one, two, three,
job.
four.
Yep.
That's it. That's and I'm not sorry.
Nope.
I am still surprised at Zero's performance against Dorta Coast. It's been a long time since we've seen we haven't seen a big Mexican like this Zerto with the foot movement that he had against Dorticos to be able to get around. Not often that we see people outmaneuver Cubans in this way. It's not often at all. So definitely he did a lot of good things. Surprised me for sure, style wise, for how he fought that fight. Um, really did. Really, really shocking there. So while he did do all those good things like that in the fight,
I agree.
yeah. So now moving on to the main event. Jake Paul wins his main event fight against Julio César Chávez Jr. In a decision in what people are saying was a very boring fight. Regardless of how we and regardless of how we want to see it, Chavez did show up in shape. I'll give him that credit. And this is where I kind of got tuned off of the fight initially. I did not finish it the night of because I had already dinged in my head what I saw from round one while I was watching round two. Chavez got in shape for the fight to lose weight. He did not get in shape to fight. That's what that you can tell the difference. A fighter goes into camp to lose weight, or a fighter that goes into camp to fight. He did not look like he was in the camp to fight. He trained and he lost weight as a consequence. He was focused on that, but he was not ready to fight at all. This was not the Chavez that we saw going out to try to win belts at 160, 168 pounds at all. Granted, that was almost 10 years ago at that point, but this is still the man who fought Canelo Alvarez. So those skills are still in there somewhere, but he did not work on those skills as he was in this camp getting ready for Jake Paul. That's not a knock to Jake Paul at all. Jake Paul did his part. He came in there ready to fight. He won a fight. The only thing I don't like post fight was now that he is ranked number 15 in the NBA for the cruiserweights. That's it.
Shit, I thought it was 14.
14. Sorry. 15, 14. I That's the only thing I don't like because he did not fight a top 20 contender at all. You know what I'm saying? That right there is where I am upset with. And I'm pretty sure guys that are in his weight division are upset with it as well because it's more so like, hey, man, I've been fighting to get the 14, 15, 20, and y'all threw that man in there right now. Like, what's up? You know? That's it. But with Jake Paul, now, along with that, what Jake Paul is doing for boxing for everybody on that undercard, he paid all of the money on the card, more money they have ever seen, more money they ever gonna see, probably. Well, I ain't gonna say ever gonna see, but more money they have seen to this point. Because he said, I'm gonna get the money from the other stuff. I'm not worried about that. Y'all, the person's on y'all. He continues to uplift women's boxing. We love that. We love that the same way we love the WNBA. You want to see some real violent hoops? Go watch the WNBA. You want to see some hands thrown? Go watch the women throw some hands. The things for some reason it goes hand in hand. Don't ask me why. I'm just here as a witness, baby. Um, so kudos to Jake Paul for all the things he's done. People don't like it because they're looking at him specifically and not the bigger picture. And I'm proud of the bigger picture.
Yep. I've been said for a minute now that Jake Paul is far better for boxing than he is a boxer. Two different lanes. He's way better.
It's perfectly well said.
He's way better for the sport than what he is as an actual boxer. Do I like that the WBA? Some call it the worst boxing association. I don't know. That's what some people say. You know, it ain't my job to say it, but I'm just saying. Do I like that they put them in number 14? No, but that's what you call popular privilege. So they put him up there because he's popular. He brings eyes to the sport, and it's a name. Um,
The worst boxing association, bro.
well, some people say, I mean, that's what I
I'm
heard.
not mad at Jake Paul using what he got to get what he wants. People can be mad about whatever, but he built all of this from his own lane.
Mm-hmm.
He did it with his own lane. He did it with his own money. What do we, it ain't, you know,
But
Ryan Garcia is a YouTuber who gets the money, whatever, and this is what we got. Difference
but
is Ryan Garcia just been fighting his whole life.
so here's the one thing that it's kind of contradicting just based on his size. So he'll win a fight, then he'll call out like Tank, Canelo, and a few other people, like people from various weight classes. If you say you want to be taken serious, then call out Ja. Matter of fact, IBF, how about y'all ranking? Put him in there with Ja, see what happens. I'd like to see it.
911, I like to report a potential murder.
I'm just saying, y'all want to put him up there in the ranking.
911. Yes. How you doing? I am a concerned citizen. I have a man named Terrell Lamb. He is trying to set up somebody to lose their life. Yeah, I'm on the screen with him right now. Hold on, the authorities are on the way, brother. Thank you very much.
I'm just saying, man. Let's
Me
see.
too. I just said to 911 too. That's what I just said. You're going to jail now, bucko. Cause you tripping. You are tripping.
I got a few more names I'd like to see him in there with. I call up David.
Nonetheless, I'm not mad at him because you know why though? He does do the work. He does go out there and train. He does get in shape. I can't be I can't hate on somebody who does go to the gym, who does take it serious and does do the work. It just is what it is. So J. Paul, continue to do your thing, your lane. Hate brings numbers, and people don't even realize they're watching to hate you, and that's there. Yeah, that's what they're doing. So shout out to you, and shout out to you for bringing up women's boxing again. That's all I can say about that. So thanks. All right. So we're gonna before we end this wonderful episode of I think this is number Shaq right here. I'm sorry, this is number Magic Johnson. This is 32. This is and I hold on, Charles. You gotta get him back. You gotta. Get him back. My man is unintentionally funny. But I can't even say rumor report or nothing like that. Hey man, we have a fight confirmation. Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney have agreed to fight each other in Saudi Arabia here coming the fall, looking like November fight date. All of the Devin Haney detractors who says Devin Haney doesn't do this, Devin Haney doesn't do that, no matter how you want to line it up or slice it, no matter what people want to say, Devin Haney goes after the best fights. Nobody else in boxing is going after the best fights that they can besides Devin the Dream Haney. Kudos to him and Brian Norman getting the fight done, probably having to tell both of their fathers to shut the hell up between each other. But nonetheless, those two men got the fight signed, done, deal delivered. Devin Haney's looking for a belt in his third weight class. Kudos to them. How do you, so far, without even actually looking at the fight, how do you see the fight going before we get
Can't
to
be
the
mad at it.
later date?
Can't be mad at it. Devin don't duck. I mean,
He
this
is
for a
not.
fight
He is not
anybody
Devin
would.
the Duck. He is not Devin the Duck Haney. No matter how you want to slice it, here are the facts about Devin Haney at his 135 range. He had been at 135 since he was 16 years old. He took a dirty deal to go fight Cambosis to get those rest of those belts in Australia, not once, but twice. And in the third fight, he said, "Give me Lomachenko so I can prove who I am to the world." Regardless of what people may feel the outcome in should have been in a close fight. Close fight. That fight was close no matter how you scored it. All the judges had it 7-5. It is what it was. So it's close. It's not a robbery. It's close. He won that fight. He went out there and proved it. When he went to go talk to Shakur, he offered Shakur a number, which was more money than Shakur had made. Shakur didn't like it and wanted a bigger percentage. And so Devin said, "Well, forget it, Dan. I'm going to go. You didn't want to take a deal. I just took a dirty deal to get the belts. You don't want to do what I did? Okay, cool, fine. I'm going to go ahead and slide to 140. He goes to 140. He gets Regis Prograis belt. He does that. He gets cheated. He gets cheated. He gets cheated in the ring by Ryan Garcia, a man who was on performance enhancing drugs in a boxing match. He gets cheated in that fight, and then he comes back a year later, and regardless of entertainment value, puts out a shutout, pitch perfect performance against Jose Ramirez to get back in the win column, and he kept chasing everybody else. That's Devin the Dream Haney.
Yep. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and watch a few things I need to look for from Brian Norman. My initial thought is one to be that I don't think Brian Norman's feet are good enough for Devin, but I don't know. But
Mm.
it'll be an interesting matchup though. So
It is. It is. Brian Norman, who's typically being known as a puncher these days, especially after that sensational knockout against Sasaki. Um, so that's what people that do not like Devin Haney specifically, they don't care nothing about. They just hate Devin Haney. They're looking for Brian Norman Jr. to do that to Devin Haney. So we'll see. We'll see. Right now, initial thoughts, regardless of, I'm still looking at Devin Haney winning the fight. That's me personally. By the time I actually go sit down and look at these two fights specifically for fighting each other, my opinion might 100% change because that's possible. Um, so yeah, that's where it is.
my minor thing that kind of get annoyed me. Devin don't need no more credit than he already get. He deserved the credit he get, but he don't need no extra. I seen people saying that he moving up to welterweight. No, he already been there. As Foreman told me and corrected me one time, once he got over 140 and took a fight, guess what you are now? You're a welterweight. No matter if you came in at 146 or 147 on the dot, if you came in at 144, you're a welterweight now.
Could have came in at 141. You are a welterweight, ladies and gentlemen. That's how weight classes work. You are, as soon as you are over 140.0, if you are 140.2, you are a welterweight. That's how it works. So, that being said, thank you for tuning in to episode Magic Johnson of Thank you for tuning in to episode Magic Johnson, man. Once again, I am Foreman.
I'm Twin.
And we just covered your weekend pack up and pack out of fights from Montreal all the way to Anaheim, California. See y'all in a couple days. This time, I swear we're going to record again in a couple days. I promise you this time. I promise it.
Mm-hmm.
You work Friday?
Nope.
All right, so we are going to record again on Friday. All right, we'll see y'all, man. Y'all be cool.